In my previous video, we built this retaining wall out of some old sheet metal that came off of our old boat dock. In this video, we're going to put plastic sheeting down. But before I put that plastic sheeting down, I want to dig out the bottom, make it as smooth as I can with no sharp edges or corners. Here I'm picking up some of the sticks and rocks and getting them out of the bottom. This is a close-up of some of the muck I'm dealing with here in the bottom. Since the plastic is going to come up over the top of this wall, I want to make it as smooth as possible with no voids or sharp turns. Switched over to my garden hoe. I had trouble with the dirt sliding down, so I got these boards and put those in temporarily to hold the dirt. It's hard to tell from this view here, but there's a bit of a knob there that I wanted to take out and make it more of a gradual slope from where I'm standing down into the bottom of the pond. Before removing the dock to put the plastic down, I want to mark where the dock goes so I can get it back in the same spot. This roll is 20 foot by 50 foot, so we have to unroll it and unfold it before we place it down. The plastic is only 20 foot wide, and we really need about 25 or 30 foot. So to compensate, we're running it at a diagonal from one upper left corner to the lower right. I would like to leave the plastic way up high on the side here, but unfortunately we have to pull it back some to compensate for the sea wall and then the deep area of the pond. These two black pipes are drainage from my garage roof and my driveway. The dock is going to go over the top of these, so I want to get the plastic underneath the pipe, and then we'll put the dock back on top. There'll be a slack there, but once the water goes in there, it's going to pull that down. I'm trying to get the edge of the plastic as close as I can to that wall, but I don't want it to slip and go over the end of it. I'm trying to simulate what the plastic does once the water gets in there and pulls it down. Now I'm on the other side, pushing the plastic down, trying to simulate what the water is going to do when it fills up. Again, you can see that the plastic on this side is way lower than I want on the dam, but it is what it is. At this point, we've done all we can do until it rains and pulls that plastic to where it needs to be. It is September 15th, and we're hoping over the next couple of days we'll get enough water that'll form the plastic so we can finish up pulling in the edges. Unfortunately, that was not to be the case. It's taken a long time since we put this plastic down for us to get enough rain to actually form the bottom. So now I want to start tucking in the sides to get ready to fill it up the rest of the way if we ever get some rain. So the game plan here is to get all the leaves off and fold it up and then cut a couple notches in the dam about the level of the drainage pipe, and then I'll put the plastic there, put a couple rocks on it, and hopefully we'll be good on the dam side. Okay, first step is to get the leaves off and fold it up. I probably should have just cut this plastic off, but just in case I change my mind later on and need more plastic, I decided to fold it over. Now I want to move the plastic out of the way so I can dig the ledge, but I'll put a couple rocks on it so it doesn't slide down into the pond. Now we'll see if I can create a ledge or a couple spots to put rocks in at the level of the bottom of that overflow pipe. See if I can do this without falling in the water. Didn't want to do that. So the next project is I want to get this dock back into the pond. So this is the dock. I have all my plastic down there. So I want to make some vinyl pads to put the dock on so it doesn't poke a hole in the plastic. So the measurement is about 4 foot across here, and I'm probably going to make it about 1 foot wide. I'll put one under the plastic, and then I'll put one on top of plastic. So we need to go get our vinyl and cut that out next. So the piece of vinyl that I'm going to use is actually an old swimming float that's got a bunch of holes in it, and we were going to throw it out. So I'm going to save pieces of it to cut my 4 foot by 1 foot sections out of. This is actually a lot heavier than it looks. It's probably getting up closer to 50 pounds. So I'm going to try to get two pieces out of this right here. This is actually a tube, so there should be two layers in there. Lucked out. Looks like I got a 4-foot piece left, so it'll be four 4-footers. Up, let's see how close we are. Yeah, I think that'll work no problem. So I'm going to put them out on the dock, try to stretch them out, maybe put some 2x4s on them or something, and then I got to go in here and start working on where the outer 4x4 goes. There was a hole there. I got to fill that hole in, and then I'll cut off that bottom of that 4x4, the equivalent amount. So let's move on to that step. Well, it's going to be dark in another hour, and I'm at the end of my battery life here on my body, so I'm going to blow the leaves off, get the leaves out of the water, and then tomorrow we can continue where we left off today. Change of plans. I decided to fill in the holes today. Now I got to cut the equivalent amount off of these end posts. Okay, so now we're going to position the vinyl strips I cut, which will go underneath the plastic. The dock is very heavy, so we're talking about how we're going to carry it over onto the plastic. Essentially, just going to carry it up initially and set it down, and then pick it up, move it 6 inches, I'll reposition myself, move another 6 inches, and so on. Here we got it off to the side too far, so we have to move it back sideways. For the final 12-inch move onto the plastic, we decided to lift the dock from the sides. That seemed to work pretty good. I didn't cut enough off of the end dock legs, so now we have to put some pavers under some of the other legs. As we're starting to get the pond more civilized now, one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to monitor the water level in it. So I've got this old stand here, and I've labeled 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, and then every 2 inches. So I want to be able to put this so my security camera can see it, and I can monitor the water level. Currently we have some plastic in there now, and hopefully that's going to keep it from draining out the bottom, but it's not had enough rain lately to even tell. It's only a couple feet deep. So this is another step, and we'll see how it goes. So you can see the blue pieces of plastic underneath the feet on the dock. That's the same thing I want to put underneath this stand. We're going to try to get it in there, and I want to see how far in I can put it and still read it with that camera that you see on the dock right there. So see how far we get before I got to put my boots on. Obviously the camera will be able to see it that close, but I'd like to see if I can get it down in the water. So we'll take a quick peek at the camera to see what that shows first. So this actually isn't too bad. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. So I'm optimistic that I can get it another 2 feet out into that deep area. So we'll start working on that next. So I measured the diameter of that base, and it looks like it's about 16 inches. So the width of this yellow and blue piece here is about 18. So I'm going to cut 2 strips and see if I can position that. That's about 28 inches. That should give me plenty of room to wrap up on the side. Well, this should make for some nice video. It's either going to go smoothly and I'll be happy, or you might hear a lot of 4-letter cuss words and I might get wet. Very interesting. Almost slid in here. You can see the base is on a slope here, so it won't stand up straight. Can't seem to get it level. Pull it up higher on the side here. I had to move it up the side here a little bit, which got it into the shallower water, but that was the only way I could get it level. Now I had to get the ornament on top. Let me see if I can stand over on the right side easier without getting wet. Still not level, so I want to try and slide it over a little bit farther. I have tried to slide the 2 yellow pieces of vinyl with it, but one of them came loose, but I think the second one is still underneath it. That looks a little better. Let's see if we can read it with the camera. Again, that's good for first try. We'll adjust that later on down the road if we need to. At least I didn't get wet. I know if I don't make that top ornament level, the wife's going to yell at me, so let me see if I can do that without getting wet. This pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next videos, I will be pressure washing and painting the sheds. Again, thanks for watching. I would love to hear any comments. Please place them in the YouTube comments section. Well, pretty good until I dipped my knee in the water and got wet, but that's life.